What's up, guys? Gibberish just here, and today we are going to be doing a theory film. Which one would win? The Witcher, Geralt of Rivia, or The Mandalorian? If these two were put into a 1v1 arena and were forced to fight like Thor and Hulk, who would win? Well, today we're going to figure that out. Please keep in mind that this has spoilers for The Witcher and for The Mandalorian. If you have not seen those shows all the way up to their end, this is a spoiler warning for you. So, let's get into it. We're going to be going over this by 3 points. Power level on the show, their abilities, and their resourcefulness. So, let's get into it. The power level on their show is going to be mainly about how powerful are they in their own universe. So the Mandalorian, he is very strong, but compared to other bounty hunters, he's pretty normal actually. What stands the Mandalorian apart is his Beskar armor, just his helmet, and his weapons of choice. These are things that really make the Mandalorian very strong and powerful. So he is a very skilled fighter, and we see that in the final episode with him fighting all the Death Troopers and Stormtroopers. But if he was in a 1v1 fight with Geralt right now, no weapons, he would get his butt kicked, alright? This is no question. I think everyone can agree that if it's just the Mandalorian without, maybe even in his armor without his weapons, versus the Witcher and no armor with no weapons, the Witcher would win because he's been enhanced. So the Witcher has that benefit of being an enhanced fighter and who can move extremely fast, and he doesn't have to wear armor like the Mandalorian. Alright, so these are things to keep in mind when we're comparing these two characters, alright? So yes, the Mandalorian relies more on his armor, but the Witcher has more abilities in his actual sense of in his universe. He doesn't need some of these things that the Mandalorian has. So, Witcher in the show is basically one of the most powerful things ever. If you come across the Witcher and he wants to kill you, very likely he's gonna kill you. You see him kill like 3 monsters in the show, and he kills countless men. All right, so he kills a lot of things in the show. He's shown to be a very capable fighter. The Mandalorian is also shown to be a capable bounty hunter. In his world, he is very strong. He takes out a lot of enemies, including ones even with his spaceship. He's shown to be very skilled. But unlike The Witcher, I feel like the Mandalorian isn't shown to be OP, if you know what I mean. The Witcher is shown to be extremely powerful, and that the only real thing that can really take him out is monsters. Now, I am basing this off of the show, so this could be different in the game or books. So please let me know if that is different. But from what I've seen in the show and the Mandalorian, I would say that The Witcher wins in the power level on their show. I think The Witcher has a little more power to him, and that the show made him seem more of a threatening figure than The Mandalorian did. So the reason why I put this in a 1v1 contest is I think that this means that initially I think Witcher has the upper hand. Alright? Now, when it comes to resourcefulness, this is where things get interesting. The Mandalorian uses whatever he can to solve his problems. He's very smart and very strategic. He has shown this throughout the show. When he goes to save Baby Yoda from the compound, he doesn't just barge in there and start shooting. He goes from the back, he blows up the back wall after distracting them from the front. He goes in. He clearly knows their way of fighting. He's very methodical when doing this. He's not just doing it off of the whim. And that's very important in defeating someone like The Witcher. The Witcher isn't nearly as strategic. He's very skilled and resourceful, but in the world he lives in, he mainly just fights monsters, like, for money. That's mainly his whole deal. So The Witcher doesn't need to be as strategic as the Mandalorian in this sense. Now, don't get me wrong, The Witcher has a plan. You can't just walk up and kill a monster. We see him plan this out in episode 3 when he fights the princess. So, The Witcher is a very smart character, and he has shown this, but we do see him do rash things out of, like when he didn't get enough sleep, he started to get a little rash and impatient, stuff like that. And So with this area, I would say the Mandalorian wins because the Mandalorian is shown to use whatever he needs to get the job done. The Witcher is shown this too, but not as strongly as Mando. So I'm going to give resourcefulness to the Mandalorian. So that each one has 1 point. Who will take the final draw? Well, we got the abilities now. This is where it gets really difficult for people, alright? Mandalorian has the Beskar armor, and his rifle, the flamethrower, and other missiles and weapons that we see in the show. We are told in Star Wars that Beskar armor is one of the strongest metals in the galaxy. It can even repel lightsaber attacks sometimes. So it is shown to be a crazy powerful weapon in a sense. And we saw that it took an explosion for Mando to actually get hurt, which caused him to take his helmet off. So this is something you have to keep in mind. He also has things like his rifle, which is extremely powerful in disintegration, and his flamethrower. Now, I'm not really sure how the disintegration of his rifle would work on the Witcher, since the Witcher has magic. I would say that I don't think that the magic of the Witcher would be able to protect him from this disintegration. I do think, though, that the Witcher's magical abilities would be able to protect him from most of the Mandalorian's like initial blaster guns. Most blaster guns, I think the Witcher would be okay against. So if you told me if it was 4 stormtroopers versus the Witcher, I would say this is no contest. The Witcher's going to win. But this is not that case. The Mandalorian has a lot of weapons plus the Beskar armor, which is probably the biggest thing out of all these. Now we are shown that the Witcher has 2 swords. He has one for killing monsters and one for killing humans. So if he needed to, he could use the monster weapon if he needed to. Let me know if I'm wrong with that. I believe he can use it. We also see him use magic in his first fight with humans. He pushes them back and kills a couple. So we show this, and they show us this in the TV show, and it's just shown that he is very strong and he can do a lot of things. The Mandalorian is not strong with the Force, and by the way, we are not including Baby Yoda. He does not have Baby Yoda, it's just the Mandalorian and the Witcher. So when we're doing this final battle in abilities, alright, we gotta compare. Does the Beskar armor, his rifle, his jetpack, his flamethrower, alright, do these things add up to be more powerful than Geralt's magical abilities, to his 2 swords, and his genetically enhanced body to have him defeat the Mandalorian? And when it comes to this, I'm going to say that the Mandalorian would lose. The Mandalorian, I think, is a very strong character, but I'm going to have to give abilities to the Witcher. I think the Witcher's initial power level is enough to push him through this. I think as long as he could stay away from the rifle, he could defeat the Mandalorian even with the Beskar armor, because he could find the weak spots between the armor. Maybe his swords would be strong enough to cut the armor. I doubt that, but I do think that the Witcher would be resourceful enough to take him out. Now, with the jetpack, that is a flip coin. I'm up and decided. So let me know if you think if the jetpack makes a big difference or not in the comments below. But there you go, guys. That was my video on who would win in the fight, The Witcher versus The Mandalorian. It ended up being The Witcher, in my opinion. 2 versus 1 in points. So let me know if you agree with me in the comments below. I would love to hear y'all's opinion. If you think that The Witcher is more powerful in the games and books and would destroy the Mandalorian, let me know. If you think the Mandalorian armor and flamethrower and all this would be enough to destroy Geralt, then let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next theory video. You guys have a good day. Bye!